Thank you, folks. Thank you all for coming out. It's been a very emotional day. It's been a very emotional 18 months for my family and I. I just had a very pleasant conversation with Senator Cardin in the back, and I want to congratulate him. The great part about our American process is when it's all said and done, we do it with this. We don't do it with this, and we shake hands when we're done. And he's been a gentleman. He's been a class act. We may have political differences. We have from the beginning. But we'd actually become close friends towards the end. Matter of fact, we spent some time at an early voting location together in Towson and spent more time talking to each other than we did to voters. So he's a good man, folks, and it's on us now. He's our senator moving forward. And that's what we do here in this great country. He was a class act, and I do deeply appreciate a good campaign on his part. Folks, I'd be remiss right now if I didn't thank first my wife and my daughter. To put in perspective what we did, we're here tonight, folks, not to celebrate a victory or a defeat. We're here to celebrate the process we all went through. And I mean, we all went through. This campaign was started 18 months ago at my dining room table with Brian, Paula, and me sitting at a table putting together a press release. Frankly, we didn't even understand what we were doing at that point. But we knew one thing. We knew we had an idea we believed in. And we knew that idea was a little bit different than what we had now. And I knew most importantly it was an idea I was willing to fight for. And I knew it was an idea my wife was willing to sacrifice for. And look what we did. Look what we built. For our campaign manager, Jim, who started early at a Starbucks, which was our informal office, before we actually had an office outside of my house in Savannah Park. To Carlo, who was our first person hired, who managed to tell the press, we've got a fantastic guy here. She lied for us, but thank you. To Brandon, my first volunteer, who I remember giving that speech. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I remember looking in the back of the room and seeing Brandon nodding his head. And I remember Michael Harris, who had worked for the Prince George's County Republican Central Committee, saying, "No, you can't have him. He's mine." And I said, "Oh, sure." And as I walked out, I said, "Hey, slip your name address." And 18 months later, he's still with me. To Allie and Kelly and Sharon, Deputy Campaign Manager, for every ounce of sweat equity you put into this. Building this organization from scratch. I met Sharon in the Black Hog, a barbecue restaurant in Frederick, and said, help us, please. We're getting overloaded with volunteer requests. And I said, we just don't have the ability to handle this. And she started taking notes in the book and said, you're my guy. And that was it. We kept promoting her out of positions. To all the regional coordinators and county coordinators who spent days with me in the cold and in the rain. You know who you are. Sign waving, greeting voters at the Metro, shaking hands, refusing to forfeit one county or one block for all those doors that were knocked on. Just growing up. I never thought I'd be here. I grew up above a bar at 64th Place, Myrtle Avenue. Never thought I'd be celebrating being a United States Congressman, celebrating this process. Folks, it's been an honor. And I'm going to try to get through this now. Just bear with me. There's a friend of mine, Andrew Bradley, who he's always good for giving me things I need to keep in my head for later on. He told me that story when I gave that Field of Steel speech on Lawyers Mall that everybody had watched on YouTube. Well, Andrew had sent me a text the other day and said, please look up this verse in the Bible. This applies to you. So today in my car, I did. And I just wanted to read to you these 3 lines. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith.